On February 4, 2026 at 1:25 p.m., three masked gunmen emerged from a red Alfa Romeo on South May Street in Chicago's Auburn-Gresham neighborhood. Gabryel Ayres, 26, sat in a white sedan with Devin Draper, 27, and her infant daughter secured in the back seat. The attackers opened fire with automatic weapons, unleashing over 50 rounds in broad daylight on one of the area's busiest corridors, just steps from St. Sabina Church. The vehicle crashed into a van. The shooters returned to their car, circled back, and fired additional rounds into the disabled sedan before fleeing. Ayres died at Little Company of Mary Hospital. Draper survived with gunshot wounds to his arm and buttocks. Shell casings were found inside the baby's car seat, yet the child emerged physically unharmed, holding a lollipop. The getaway vehicle was later discovered torched and abandoned. No arrests have been made.
A young mother is dead after being shot while she was in a car on the city's south side. Police say her baby survived that shooting unharmed. Hello again, everyone, on this Thursday morning. I'm Patrick Elwood.
And I'm Dina Baer. Thank you for joining us. WGN's Angelica Sanchez is live in the Auburn-Gresham neighborhood with the latest on the investigation. Angelica?
Pat and Dina, nothing short of a miracle is how the baby's condition is being described, as those that were on the scene tell us that there were actual bullet casings found in the baby's car seat. Crime Stoppers is now offering a reward for any information that could lead to an arrest. Skycab 9 flies over the 7900 block of South May Street, where a white vehicle riddled with bullet holes has collided with a nearby GMC van. Officers located two victims inside the car, a 26-year-old woman and a 27-year-old man. The female victim was struck multiple times and passed away from her injuries, while the male victim is expected to survive.
It's like something out of a war zone.
The female victim is identified as 26-year-old Gabryel Ayres. Cook County Crime Stoppers is offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to the person or persons responsible for her murder. Multiple people pulled over or ran over to try and help them. To everyone's shock, the victim's daughter, a baby girl, was located unharmed in her car seat.
It's a miracle with all the gunshot wounds on that car on both sides and all the shooting that took place, that baby was spared and nothing. God must have a plan for that baby.
Every case starts with evidence and ends with truth. We examine facts, not theories, details, not drama. This is Sunday Crime, where investigations speak for themselves. Subscribe now and stay updated as we uncover the facts behind every case. Three masked gunmen approached the vehicle and opened fire without warning. According to Chicago Police Department reports and witness accounts, more than 50 shots were fired at the sedan in rapid succession. The volume of gunfire suggests a planned and coordinated attack involving multiple firearms. Ayres sustained multiple gunshot wounds throughout her body during the barrage. The male passenger was struck in the arm and buttocks, but survived his injuries. Most remarkably, Ayres' infant daughter, seated in the back of the vehicle, emerged physically unharmed, despite the extensive gunfire that riddled the car. Emergency services arrived at the scene shortly after the shooting. Paramedics transported Ayres to OSF Little Company of Mary Hospital, where medical personnel initially treated her in critical condition. Despite efforts by hospital staff, Ayres succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced dead. The male victim received treatment for his non-life-threatening wounds and survived. The infant was evaluated by medical professionals and confirmed to be without physical injury, though she had witnessed the entire incident from the position in the back seat. The Chicago Police Department immediately launched a homicide investigation into the shooting. As of the latest available reports, no arrests have been made in connection with the case. Investigators have not publicly disclosed a motive for the attack, nor have they identified the three gunmen who carried out the shooting. The department has not released information about whether Ayres or the male passenger were specifically targeted or if the attack was random, though the coordinated nature of the assault and the number of rounds fired suggest a targeted operation. Cook County Crime Stoppers has posted a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the shooting. Law enforcement agencies have encouraged anyone with knowledge of the incident to come forward, emphasizing that tips can be submitted anonymously. Investigators are reviewing security camera footage from the area, canvassing for witnesses, and examining forensic evidence from the crime scene, including ballistic evidence from the more than 50 shell casings recovered. Gabryel Ayres, known to friends and family as Gina, was a 26-year-old resident of Chicago who worked as a hairstylist. Family members described her as a devoted mother who centered her life around caring for her infant daughter. Those who knew her emphasized her dedication to her profession and her role as a parent. The shooting occurred during daylight hours on a Tuesday afternoon, a time when Ayres was going about her regular activities. The Auburn-Gresham neighborhood, located on Chicago's South Side, has experienced ongoing challenges with gun violence. This particular incident, however, struck community members as especially egregious due to the presence of an infant during the attack and the sheer volume of gunfire discharged in a residential area in the middle of the day. On Friday, February 7, 2026, hundreds of community members gathered at the corner of 79th and May Streets for a vigil honoring Ayres' memory. The event served dual purposes, commemorating the young mother's life and calling for an end to gun violence in Chicago neighborhoods. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson attended the vigil, joining community members in mourning and addressing the broader issues of public safety and gun violence that plague certain areas of the city. The vigil attendees included family members, friends, neighbors, and community activists. Participants lit candles, shared memories of Ayres, and expressed frustration with the cycle of violence affecting their neighborhood. Several speakers at the event called for increased police presence, community investment, and violence prevention programs. Others emphasized the need for witnesses to come forward with information to help solve the case. Chicago has consistently ranked among American cities with the highest rates of gun violence. The Auburn-Gresham neighborhood where this shooting occurred has experienced numerous violent incidents over recent years. The brazen nature of this attack, carried out in broad daylight in a residential area with multiple shooters firing dozens of rounds, represents a particularly bold example of the violence that has affected the South Side. The survival of Ayres' infant daughter has raised questions about the child's future care and the psychological impact of witnessing such violence at such a young age. Child development experts note that even pre-verbal infants can be affected by traumatic events, though the full extent of any psychological impact may not become apparent until later in the child's development. The case remains open and under active investigation by the Chicago Police Department's Homicide Division. No suspects have been publicly identified, and police have not released information about possible gang affiliations, prior threats against Ayres, or other contextual details that might explain the motive behind such an aggressive attack. The $10,000 reward offered through Cook County Crime Stoppers remains available for information leading to arrests. The incident has added to Chicago's 2026 homicide statistics and has become part of ongoing discussions about urban gun violence, public safety policy, and community protection measures. Facts verified. Case concluded. Justice is found in what remains proven. This is Sunday Crime. Until the next investigation, subscribe for more verified stories and real criminal investigations.